Gopechana Vallabha Gopechana Vallabha Yashodanandana Yashodanandana Yamuna Tira Yamuna Tira Yamuna Tira Yamuna Tira Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Jaya Radha जय श्री श्री गंधर्विका गिरिधारी की, श्री प्रहलाद नरसिंह की, निताई गौर सुंदर की, समवेत गौर भक्तवृंद की, जगत गुरु श्री स्वरूपान की, निताई गौर प्रेमानंद। हरे कृष्णा। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदामह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादां सहगणा श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशकारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नमस्ते गौरकृष्णे नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. Thank you for coming here and also inviting us here. So we are happy to be here with all of you. It's my first time in Bangalore, first time in Sarjapur. So I'm happy I'm getting this opportunity to do some seva. I've been given the topic of tolerance and forgiveness, right? So we'll try to look at this topic and see what we can learn and apply in our life. So we'll come to these verses on the screen a bit later. First of all, let me just try to bring your mind to what we're going to discuss about, right? So how many of you have been to Balaji Darshan, Tirupati? Tirupati Balaji Darshan? Okay, some of you have been, some of you not yet. So there is Tirupati, the main city, and there is Tirumala, right? The Saptagiri, the 7 hills, no? 7 mountains. So we go from Tirupati to Tirumala, and there Tirumala we get darshan of Balaji, right? So there is a way you can go by road, by a car or a bus, and there is also a way you can climb. Isn't it? So how many of you have climbed from Tirupati to Tirumala? Climbing by foot, walking. Yeah, you have done. Good. So it's like 9 kilometers plus 3,550 steps. 9 kilometers plus 3,550 steps, right? That means it's quite a long climb. It takes 3 hours, 3.5 hours. How many of you been to Melkote? Okay, very good. Some of you heard the name Melkote. Everyone heard the name? Yeah. Very nice place. Again, you live in Bangalore. You have not been to these places. I just came for the first time to Bangalore. I've been to both the places. How interesting it is, right? But actually, I came with that intention to go to these places also. So Melkote is 3 hours from here. Very nice place, very serene. You should go there if you get a chance, right? So there is a temple of Yoga Narsinga, yeah? And there you have to climb 365 steps. How many? Like that, there are many temples in India where the temple is on the hilltop, correct? And you have to climb a long distance to reach the temple, right? Hmm. So one question comes in mind, why did they make the temple on the hilltop? Because to make the temple, they also had to climb. It would have been easier to make it somewhere on a plain land, no? They also had to climb, and then they make the temple there on top, isn't it? So an interesting question comes in mind. There could be many reasons for that, but one reason is that through that exercise of climbing the temple and then finally getting darshan of Bhagavan, the Lord is and his devotees are teaching us something very important. And what is that? That is, first of all, that to get darshan of Bhagavan, which means to get the goal. Let's say here my goal is to get his darshan, right? That's the goal. So to reach my goal, I need to have some qualities. And those qualities are tested in your journey from the starting point to that goal. If you don't have those qualities, then you will not complete the journey, right? So that lesson is taught to us either by uh, the Shastra being given to us, the Shastra will teach us this is what you should have, or the Sadhu will teach us this is how you should live, these qualities you should have, or through practical experience in life. We learn in many ways. We learn by hearing, we learn by seeing, we learn by experiencing, isn't it? So when I do that physical exercise of climbing 3,550 steps to go and take darshan of Balaji, I need to have certain qualities. Then only I can complete that journey, right? Isn't it? So first, that quality which I need is humility. Why? Because if I am not humble, I will think, why should I climb such a long distance to see that fellow? Who is he? What's so great about him? Correct? Only if that person is great and I am small, will I make such an endeavor. Na? Otherwise, I will never make that an endeavor. If you have to go meet a person smaller than you and you have to put so much of effort, will you put the effort? No, you will say, he should come and meet me. Why should I go? Right? So the first thing is, I have to be humble that Krishna is, Bhagavan is great and I am small. And because the small wants to meet the great, the small has to put a lot of efforts. You know, the great will not come to me. I have to go. So one needs humility. If one doesn't have humility, one will not make that journey. Right? Are you able to understand? Right? Second thing, let's say I've started that journey. Now when I'm climbing up, my knees will pain. Isn't it? Some bodily problem will be there. Like we were climbing, I had my friend who was going with me. He was little elderly to me, 4 5 years. So after climbing for some time, he started panting. So that's an inconvenience. It's a discomfort. We could have taken the road. By car, we could have gone. Isn't it? So when I'm putting that exertion effort, I'm getting exhausted. But that inconvenience is on the bodily platform. So if I have to continue climbing, I need to learn to tolerate that bodily inconvenience. If I can't tolerate, I cannot climb. Are you able to understand? Huh? Then I'll not climb. I'll just sit. No, I don't want to go. My knees are paining. So the second quality that is needed in that exercise is tolerance. You have to tolerate. Not tolerate because just blindly I should tolerate. No, tolerate because if I don't tolerate, I'll not complete my journey. Are you able to understand? Hmm? I have to tolerate. Fine. The third thing is, It's a long journey. I mean, 3,550 steps are quite much, plus 9 kilometers of walk. So it's a long journey. So you need to have sufficient enthusiasm. Some eagerness has to be there, that I must reach there, because after I reach there, then I'll get that beautiful darshan of Bhagavan. If that excitement is not there, then the journey is going to be very mentally troublesome and boring. So I need that enthusiasm. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, he said in a class, enthusiasm comes by always keeping your eyes on the goal. If you have your eyes on the goal, you'll be enthusiastic because you know what you are going to get. So your eyes should be always on the goal. Then you have enthusiasm. Fine. So I'm enthusiastic. I'm climbing up and up. I'm going. I'm tolerating. I'm humble also. But then after 15 minutes, I'll start thinking, why it is taking so much time? Why? I should reach there as soon as possible. So the fourth quality that which you need to make that journey complete is have patience. You have patience. Dharya. Continue climbing, tolerate also, be enthusiastic also, but be patient because it will take that much time. If it is a 2 hour journey, it is going to take 2 hours. You have to be patient. You can't say no, that 2 hours should get done in 15 minutes. So through that simple exercise of climbing the mountain to take darshan of Bhagavan, you need to learn these four qualities: humility, tolerance, enthusiasm, and patience. Fine. Now, when I'm climbing up, I'm not going alone, I'm going with my friend. He is helping me. How is he helping me? Because when I'm down, he is giving me encouragement. Isn't it? Correct? When I am to drink something, because he's a local person, he knows, okay, here you can get water, here is this. He is guiding me, he is helping me. But at the same time, he is 4 years elder to me. So he climbs slow, I climb fast. Right? He's slow, I am fast. But at the same time, he's helping me. So because of that, because he's my partner, my companion in this journey, though he has some personal issues, I neglect them. Why? Because he's helping me in that journey. Able to understand? And by chance, if he does a mistake also in this journey, I forgive him. Why? Because he's helping me. Isn't it? So that is the concept of tolerance and forgiveness in our life. Why we should tolerate and why we should forgive. As simple as that. It's not for that person's benefit. It is for my benefit. It is something which I have to learn. And it's for me. It's not that I am tolerating that person, so I am benefiting that person. I am forgiving that person, so I am benefiting that person. I am a humble fellow, so I am benefiting someone. I am enthusiastic, I am benefiting someone. No, it's for me, myself, for me to reach the goal. If I don't cultivate these qualities, I will not reach the goal because my journey will not get completed. So we have to understand things in the right perspective. Not that the scriptures say, be humble. Why be humble? The scripture says, tolerate. Why tolerate? The scripture says, forgive. Why forgive? Not because I have to forgive, because if I forgive, it is in my interest. I am not losing, I am gaining. So first of all, you have to understand, it should not be seen as an instruction which is being told to us and we should follow it by force, unwillingly. यार tolerate करना अच्छा नहीं लगता है. I don't feel like tolerating. Or forgive क्यों? Why should I forgive? So we have to first understand that it is not for someone else that you are doing, it is for your own benefit. First of all, that it's for me. I need to tolerate, I need to forgive, I need to be humble. Why? Because it will help in my own journey to reach the goal. Otherwise it won't, right? So otherwise, it's not that we are blindly tolerating anything. It's not like that. Let's come to this verse of Bhagavad Gita, 2.14. What is that verse? Please tell the full verse. If you tell it together, it will be nice. Right? We all know this verse, 2.10. Krishna is saying, Arjuna, you tolerate. What you should tolerate? The sensory experiences you should tolerate. Why? They are like happiness and distress caused by winter and summer season. Winter and summer goes, similarly happiness, distress also goes, you tolerate. Krishna says that, isn't it? So we know we should tolerate the heat, right? In the summer we have to tolerate the heat. Srila Prabhupada in that Prabhupada gives the example, you go to the kitchen to cook even if it is hot summer. Correct, isn't it? If it's winter, you still tolerate the cold, you go to take bath, right? Isn't it? But does it mean that in winter I should bring an ice slab? I should bring an ice slab and stand on it and say I'm tolerating. I should tolerate the cold, but does it mean I should bring an ice slab and stand on it and say I'm tolerating? If someone asks me what are you doing, I'm practicing tolerance. Is that the meaning? No, right? In winter, in summer it's very hot, so I should tolerate the heat. So does it mean that I light fire around me and I sit in between that fire and then I say I'm practicing tolerance? Huh? No, but what's wrong with that? Krishna said tolerate. So what's wrong with that? I'm tolerating. What's wrong with that? So this is also natural, no? Fire is natural. Okay. So the problem is this is useless tolerance. You're tolerating but for no purpose. So sometimes people think, tolerate क्यों करना है? Why should I tolerate? You don't have to uselessly tolerate. You have to understand the purpose. Is it helping me or not? If it's not helping you, don't tolerate. You know? If it's not helping you, is it going to help me if I stand on the ice slab in any way? No. So I should not tolerate. I should come off it and I should stand on the normal ground. You're able to understand. So tolerance is not an instruction on its own. It is basically tolerating the difficulties that you experience on the path reaching the goal. Not that blindly tolerate. Not blindly tolerate. Anything is happening with me, I should tolerate. No. What is becoming an obstacle or a difficulty, that will anyway come on your path. For reaching the goal, you should tolerate it. That's what Krishna is telling to Arjuna. You see, Krishna is telling Arjuna tolerate, but he is saying fight. So Arjuna may say no, if you are asking me to tolerate, let me not fight. Let them harm me, let them kill me. That's what he was telling in first chapter. Let the Kauravas kill me, I will not fight. So then he is also talking about tolerance only, right? But Krishna is saying, no, you tolerate. But you tolerate what? In the execution of your duty, fighting with them. Whatever obstacles and difficulties you get, you tolerate that. So therefore, when we use the word tolerance, sometimes we get so, disturbed. Kitna tolerate karenge? What should we tolerate? How much we should tolerate? It becomes all very clear when you understand what is the goal. If I'm walking towards my goal and if something comes and I can't, neglect it, escape it, I have to deal with it, then I should tolerate. But unnecessarily I should not tolerate. Unnecessarily I should not, because it's not going to help me. you know. So when we are coming in devotee sangha, or I'm in a relationship, or I'm in any XYZ situation, I am tolerating not because I am helpless. I am tolerating because it is going to help me achieve the goal. Then tolerance doesn't become a burdensome activity. Then tolerance is basically a strategy. It's basically an intelligent decision, right? It's basically you can say your plan of action. How am I going to deal with this situation? It's not that I'm helpless. I don't have an option but to tolerate. No, it is something which is willfully accepted by you, willfully chosen by you. What is the benefit of doing that? The benefit is, as soon as you start thinking I'm a victim, English में बोलते हैं ना victim mentality. You understand this? Victim mentality means I am being victimized by my wife, I am being victimized by my husband, I am being victimized by my boss, you know, I am being victimized by non-devotees, right? Sometimes in spiritual circle one may also think I am being victimized by my circle leader, isn't it? So much of pressure on me. Huh? So as long as you think that I am being a victim, that means I am going in tamaguna. Then I cannot function properly. Therefore, this victim mentality is very bad. You know. So tolerating doesn't mean I'm being a victim or I'm being victimized. Tolerating means it's my choice. But why am I doing that? Because it's going to help me attain the goal. So there is a wrong understanding of tolerance. The wrong understanding is someone is abusing me, someone is creating trouble to me, and I keep on accepting and accepting and accepting, and I say that is tolerance. But that is not tolerance. Because externally you may tolerate, but internally you are crying, screaming, and shouting. Isn't it? But externally you are not saying anything. That means you are not saying anything because you are helpless. If you had the power, to fight back, you would have fought back. But because you think, I'm weak, I can't do anything in this situation, इसलिए चुप रहो तो अच्छा है. Keep quiet. That is not tolerance. That thing makes us weak. That thing doesn't make us strong. But tolerance means I am actually making a conscious decision. Yes, I accept it. But I accept it in the positive note. So therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, after speaking this verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita, I'm sorry, Prabhu, you need to tolerate me. So, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, here in this verse, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is, okay, he has found an easy way out, giving me the pin numbers. Okay, so thank you. So he says this, we know this is a famous verse, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Name Kevalam, Kalau Nastiva Nastiva, Nastiva Gatir Anyatha. Right? So Mahaprabhu is here in this chapter, we come to know that the glories of holy name are being sung. That this is the only way, this is the only way. No other path can help us reach the goal that we are aspiring for, self-realization. This is the only way. Now, after speaking about it at length, then in verse number 34, it is explained. Sorry, 32, I think. Yeah, it's 31. Okay, so in 31, this verse comes. Trinadapi sunichena karoriva sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. So, it was said, holy name is the best. You just have to chant the holy name. That's the goal. I need to take darshan of Bhagavan. That's the goal. right? But then I have to make a journey towards that. I have to chant the holy name. There is a journey. Now, while I'm walking that journey, I'll get obstacles. I'll face difficulties, isn't it? So therefore, here that sutra is being given. The same sutra. I want to take darshan. I need to have these qualities. I want to chant the holy name. I need to have these qualities. So what are those qualities? Trinadapi Sunichena. Be a humble person. Be humble. If you are not humble, then you will one day start thinking, why should I chant? Why should I chant? I don't have to chant. You know? So you be humble, very, very humble. And then, Taroreva Sahishruna, be more tolerant than a tree. Why be tolerant? It's a long journey. Your knees in pain. You will feel thirsty. You may get a headache. You may be dizzy. So there will be problems, difficulties. So don't tolerate blindly, but tolerate because you are on that journey and difficulties will come. So you tolerate. You have to learn to tolerate, not aimlessly. I am tolerating because I have to reach that goal. So Taro Reva Vishnu, be very tolerant like a tree. You know. Amanina manadina. If you want to have good relationship with everyone, you give respect to everyone. Hmm? And don't expect for yourself. Kirtaniya sada. If you maintain these qualities, you can always chant the holy name. That goal will be achieved. You can reach that goal. Okay? So we try to first of all understand the right context. Why we need to cultivate these qualities? It's for a goal. It's for the goal. It's not a pressure on you. It's not like having the stick in my hand and telling you tolerate. No, no. It's for you to understand that it's good for me. It's my choice. I have to do it because I need to reach the goal. And because the journey is long, definitely there will be problems. I can't expect a smooth journey. There will be difficulties. So I have no choice but to tolerate it. Otherwise, I'll say, okay, fine. 100 सीढ़ी चढ़ लिया अभी घर वापस जाएंगे. I want to go back. I'm done. Isn't it? So that tolerance will help us move on. Patience, enthusiasm. That's why we need to cultivate. So that aspect done, now we'll come to another aspect of it. What happens when you tolerate? What happens? Why we need to tolerate? Why? Like Krishna says in that verse, Matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkha agama paino nitya samprasiksha bharata. Arjuna, you tolerate. Why Krishna is saying you tolerate? Because Krishna wants to teach something else also to Arjuna in the next verse. He says, you should know the difference between Sat and Asat, temporary and permanent. So he is telling you tolerate the temporary. Don't be too much bothered about it. Why? Because it is going to change. If you are too much bothered about it, you are going to lose. Why you are going to lose? Because let's say even if you find a solution for the problem is going to change. Right? That's what happens in our life. If I am, let's say I am very troubled sitting in this sofa, in this asana, then I will try to change my situation, isn't it? But that doesn't mean that after 1 hour I'll be free of all troubles in my life. I'll get some other trouble. So Krishna is trying to tell Arjuna that don't be too much affected by what is going on in your environment. Because everything that is going in your environment is going to change. Right? If it is a problematic situation, that problematic situation is going to change into another situation. You know, if you do about it if you do something about it, okay. If you don't do something about it, still okay, because it's going to change. It's not going to remain the same. If I solve a particular problem, it doesn't mean no problems for whole life. No, a new problem is going to come, isn't it? So Krishna is saying that shift your attention from the external, which is always changing, and put your attention to something else. Because if you keep your attention on the external, your whole life will just go on fighting with the external, the environment. You will just be busy fighting with the environment, and your whole life will go in that. You know? So that's why Krishna is saying you tolerate, because if you don't tolerate, it will not let you begin your inner journey, the spiritual journey. That's why we have to learn to tolerate. Hmm? If you are in a house where there are small children, and those small children are making noise, right? Or those small children are playing, or those small children are doing so many things, and you are in the house, you have your job to do. 6 hours, 7 hours, you have to sit in front of the computer. Now, if you get too much affected by the screaming, the playing, the sleeping, the waking, the eating, and all that of the child, then you can't work on the computer, right? So, what you have to learn to do? You have to become indifferent. कि ये तो होता रहेगा, बच्चा है, बच्चा तो रोएगा, है ना, सोएगा, खाएगा, खेलेगा, isn't it? Then you have to move your attention away from there. Then you can focus on the work that you're supposed to do. That moving away of attention from one thing and putting it on the right thing, that is tolerance. That is tolerance. That's all. उसमें और कुछ नहीं है. It's about detaching from one thing and attaching your mind to the right thing. That's all tolerance means. It's not like I have to carry a mountain on my head and I need to tolerate. No. Tolerance basically means you can detach from the less important things in life and you can attach your mind in the more important things in life. That is tolerance. Hmm? So if I don't tolerate, how will I chant nicely? If I don't tolerate, how will I remember Krishna? If I don't tolerate, how will I make progress in my spiritual life? Because I'll be always so easily disturbed, affected by what is going on in the environment. Isn't it? Hmm? So it's basically for my benefit. And because I am doing it for my benefit, मैं किसी के ऊपर एहसान नहीं कर रहा टॉलरेट करके. I'm doing it for my own sake. Otherwise, what happens many times in relationship, we sometimes end up telling also, you don't know how much I'm tolerating you. Isn't it? You don't know how much I'm tolerating you. But if you understand that you're tolerating for your own benefit, you'll never make such a statement. Because you're tolerating for your own sake. Right? So if you tolerate, these things will um, minimize. And I'm not talking to you about tolerance on only one level. कि relationship में कैसे tolerate करना है. I'm talking to you about tolerance in a general manner. If I can tolerate with this understanding, I can tolerate in any way. Whether it is physical difficulty, it is a relationship issue, it is financial problem in life, anything. I'll get a new perspective to look at it, to move on, journey, goal, to reach there. I'll be always focused, you know. Otherwise, I'll get distracted. Fine. And second, forgiveness. Why should we forgive? Because we have to understand this very simple point that I cannot make this journey on my own. I need others. And because we are together in this journey, so it happens that they will be wrong sometimes, they'll do some mistakes, and I need to let go, no problem. Because they are also kind of managing with me, I should also manage with them. So it's a teamwork. We are coming together for a purpose, isn't it? So sometimes it's okay. My You may speak something which I don't like. You may do something which I don't like. But I also do things which you don't like. I also speak things which you don't like. You know. So we should not too much emphasize those things, give a lot of focus on those things, but keep the focus on the goal. And that's why I don't think about it. So these things, they become very difficult for us to practice primarily for one reason only. And the reason is we are not yet clear about the goal. कहाँ जाना है पता नहीं. We get distracted, we get deviated. Tirupati mein Tirupala, I wanted to go for taking darshan of Tirumala, and I saw a nice chaat corner, on the way. So I got distracted, and then I started eating chaat, you know. But the interesting thing is that the chaat had some wrong ingredients in it. So after eating that chaat, I got stomach poisoning, and then I'm on bed for 2 days. So I got distracted from the goal. That's what life is actually. We look at the chart, we go for eating the chart, then stomach poisoning, then 2 days off. Then start the journey all over again. फिर से तिरुमला का स्टेप से फिर से चढ़ाई शुरू करना पड़ेगा. Because you came back again from where you started. So we have to be very clear about this thing. Goal. What is the goal? What do I want to achieve? Where am I going? And I don't feel hesitant to say all this to all of you, because if you did not have a goal, why would you come here in the first place? You're coming here to this center, to this temple, because you all have a goal. Otherwise, you won't be here. Isn't it? So we have to have this focus on the goal. Then cultivating and practicing these qualities become very easy. Comparatively, not that easy in that sense, easy. They are tough, but very easy relatively when you talk about people who are not having a goal and try to cultivate these qualities. They want to cultivate these qualities just because they want to have an ego. I am a very tolerant person. I am a very humble person. It's not for the sake of getting to the goal. It's only for the sake of developing that ego, that identity. उससे भी तो एक पहचान बनता है ना. Like some people have this identity. I am a very kind-hearted person. I do a lot of charity. Isn't it? So some people get satisfied with that ego only. I can tolerate so much. You don't know, I have a lot of tolerance. But that's not the goal. That's not the goal to stand on the ice cube in winter. That's not the goal. Isn't it? So that clarity is very important. When that is there, and then I consciously cultivate these qualities, I'll get to the goal, and that will make my life successful. That's why we have to cultivate these qualities. Srila Prabhupada said, a practicing devotee, a Vaishnava, has all the good qualities of a demigod. That verse is there. Right? Why? Why a devotee has all the good qualities? Because a devotee knows, if I want to go to that goal, which is the lotus feet of Krishna, I have to cultivate all these good qualities. Not aimlessly, but because I need to reach that goal. So a devotee cultivates them. And because when you do something with a purpose, you get that thing more easily and quickly. When you do that thing aimlessly, when you do something for a purpose, you get that thing faster because you are focused now. Otherwise, you are not. Isn't it? Like a simple exercise we can do for this. If I ask you that Prabhuji and Mataji, please read these 7 lines, and I'm going to ask you questions on that. Then I'm sure you are going to read with more focus. है कि नहीं? नहीं तो because that fear is there. What if Prabhuji asks a question and then I'm not able to give answer and all these people will laugh at me, so I should better pay attention. Correct? But at this is one case. Another case, I tell you, you go to home and you read this verse and done. No question, no exam. So that time your attention will not be so much because there is no purpose. But if I give you a purpose, I am going to ask. Then you are more attentive. So when we do things with a purpose, then we are more focused. And if you are more focused, I am going to get it faster. My result will be better. I will be more efficient. So understanding this goal in Krishna consciousness is very important. And then we tolerate, we forgive, and we don't feel we have done a great thing or we have done it so pain with so much of pain. We have just done it because it's helping me move ahead in my Krishna consciousness. Hmm? So this is very important. It's as simple as that. As simple as that. So forgiving others should not be difficult. It should be very simple and easy. Right? It's okay. होता है. Simple. होता है. Done. You know? But that is only possible if your goal is clear. If not, then we'll be in the chat corner. Right? That's what. Small fights. Someone said this, someone said that. Someone did this to me, someone did that. That is only those small, things in life. It would miss the goal. But if you are focused on the goal, then yeah, it's small thing. Why should I bother about it? Correct? Hmm? So many times we fight for petty things, don't we? We hold grudges for petty things, don't we? Yes. You know, for years and years, sometimes for decades, people. तुमने मुझे 20 साल पहले ये बोला. 20 years ago, you said this to me, right? Huh? Correct? Or you did this to me. So those are petty things. Why petty things? Because it's not going to help you get to the goal. Useless. I should not bother about it. Right? Hmm? So, uh, the only austerity in life is, in your life, keep small things small, keep big things big. What is small, don't make it big. The mind's nature is, जो छोटा है उसको बड़ा बनाता है, जो बड़ा है उसको भूल जाता है. No. Right? Those things which are small, it makes it big, and those things which are actually big, it forgets. But those things are small. We'll have problems not because someone is bad, someone is wrong, because that's the nature of this world. There'll always be conflict. That's the nature of this world. And how do we come to this conclusion? Because anyone born in this world goes through that same experience. Even when Krishna comes, he needs to tolerate. He is Bhagavan. Still he has to tolerate. When Krishna comes, he also needs to forgive. He is Bhagavan. Still he has to. That means it's not your life that it's like that. It's not my life, it's like that. It's everyone's life, it's like that. Why? Because it's not that you are bad, I am bad, something wrong with you, something wrong with me. What is wrong is the place itself. This place has that problem. So we are in the wrong place. So if you expect कि मेरी life में कोई मुझे कुछ बुरा ना बोले, you are not being reasonable enough. Right? Not being reasonable enough. Right? If you think in my life no one should be my enemy and everything should be fine, everyone should be good because I am such a good person, everyone should be good to me. No, you are not expecting that. That's not this place. It's not going to happen. Right? If you think I made a goal and then I should just fly to that goal. No obstacles, no difficulties. Okay, you're not having a reasonable expectation. So the problem is my own understanding of where I am. You know, इसलिए you are now coming together practicing Krishna consciousness. तो कभी कभी आपस में बात होता है ना, उस डिवोटी ने ऐसा क्यों किया, ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है, why he is so angry, why is she like that, because that's this place, that is this place, you can't expect something else. And interestingly आप जैसा उसके बारे में बोल रहे हो वो आपके बारे में बोल रहे हैं, you know. So from my angle that person is strange, from that person's angle I am strange, isn't it? And that's how this place is. So what is the learning there? The learning is, if that's how it is, why pay so much attention to it? Because I can't change it. I can't change it. मैं उसको बदल नहीं सकता. Therefore I have to learn to be okay. Don't forget the goal. This ये तो होता रहे. You know. That's why when you go to a sadhu and you tell, I have this problem, that problem, and you're crying and all that, and if the sadhu says, ये तो चलता रहेगा. So sometimes we feel offended. ना क्या, you don't have a heart or what? I'm going through in my life, and you say चलता रहेगा. You know. So it's not that that sadhu doesn't have a heart, but that sadhu is trying to say you something more deep. That life is like this. ये तो होता रहेगा. ये तुम्हारे साथ नहीं, मेरे साथ भी होता है, सबके साथ होता है. So you don't have to be so serious about it. You know, ये तो होता रहेगा. You have to rise a little bit above, and that's what Krishna is saying. Tam titikshashta bharata. Learn to tolerate. Learn to tolerate means you learn to rise above, go above, and don't miss the goal. You know? And if we have that in mind, then all these qualities we try to practice as much as possible to become successful in our Krishna consciousness. Be humble. The purpose is, and read it again. One who thinks himself lower than the grass, who is more tolerant than a tree, and who does not expect personal honor, yet is always prepared to give all respect to others, can very easily always chant the holy name of the Lord. Why? Because then the mind is in the right state, and one can then be always focused on the goal. Purpose. The grass is specifically mentioned in this verse because everyone tramples upon it, yet the grass never protests. If the grass accepts, कोई बात नहीं, isn't it? But we don't have to be like the grass. We are conscious. The grass is not a conscious being, isn't it? Grass has no choice, but we have a choice. So we do it willfully, willingly, because I am not being humble only for the sake of being humble, or I am helpless. I am being humble because if I am not humble, I'll waste so much of my time and energy in that thing, and I'll forget the goal. समझ में आ रहा है? Are you able to understand? Isn't it? Same thing. This example indicates that the spiritual master or leader should not be proud of his position. So Srila Prabhupada is giving a specific example here. Being always humbler than an ordinary common man, he should go on preaching the cult of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So to do anything in life, any goal you want to achieve, you have to have these qualities. That's what we have to understand and apply in our life. So I'll stop here. I think we'll leave some time for questions and answers. Okay? So thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Any questions or comments, you can ask. Feel free to ask. No problem. Yes, Madhuri. Not only chant, idli, dosa, many things are there. Hmm. Hmm. So get distracted. Yeah. Very good question. So how to not get deviated? So that is possible with conviction. Conviction. I have to be very convinced about the goal. And one pointedness should be there. Therefore, you have to do some, you know, contemplation. What contemplation? I'll give you an example. Let's say I see the chart. Fine. It looks very uh, tasty. Huh? But then I can ask myself this question. Are you really hungry? क्या सच में भूख लगा है? Or you can manage without it. Right? First question. Second, क्या तुमने कभी चाट नहीं खाया? Have you never eaten chaat in your life? खाया ना? So what's going to be different about it? Right? So in this way, what you are doing is, you are actually discouraging your mind. We have to do that. Because attraction has happened on the mental platform. These questions are not on the mental platform. These questions are on the intellectual platform. And Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, the mind can be controlled by intelligence. Right? Isn't it? The mind can be controlled by intelligence. So, who is interested in the chart? Mind. Mind. क्योंकि ये like करने का, dislike करने का, that is the quality of the mind. I like it. I like it. So then I ask this question, you like it, okay, I understand. But are you hungry? Are you hungry? If you are hungry, then no problem. It's your necessity, then you eat. No problem. Climbing कर रहे हैं, प्यास लगेगा तो we'll drink water, no? No problem. That is going to help me in the journey. So I have to drink water, I'll drink water. So this way you are able to understand what is the necessity and what is a distraction. There are many things in life which are necessities. So the first question is, do I need it? Huh? This is a very important question. You have to always ask. Whenever the mind gives you a, something, the first question you should ask is, do I actually need it? You have to do that. Otherwise, the mind will just unnecessarily make new and new, demands. ये चाहिए, वो चाहिए, I want this, I want that, like useless. Honestly speaking, useless demands. How many of you have end up shopping things and later on you repented why did I shop? Huh? Don't be a liar. Raise your hand. Be honest. It happens with everyone, right? Isn't it? Later on you realize मैं क्या पैसा waste किया इसमें मैंने. I wasted my money in this. Correct? So that means you purchase something which you did not want, right? Why? Because you did not ask this question at the right time. Do I need it? So this question you have to ask. Fine. If you need it, go for it. If you don't need it, then you discard. And then you can ask subsequent questions. Have I not eaten chaat before? I have. But have I taken Balaji Darshan before? No. So let me focus on this. I should be focused on that. So that's how we have to train our mind. And this is something which comes with practice, and that's what we call as sadhana. We are doing sadhana. Sadhana means I am practicing. So first day we will not be perfect. But I have to practice like this, right? Isn't it? Then you will be more focused. And then not get distracted. Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Wonderful lecture on tolerance. So I have one question around tolerance itself. We also have different situations in our life when we also have to understand what is to be tolerated and what is not to be tolerated.
Yes.
And making that decision from our own perspective and our own knowledge becomes very difficult.
Yes.
So what is your suggestion? How should we approach?
Ask for guidance.
Thank you.
If you are not able to decide, your intelligence is not working, you take help. You don't have to make all the decisions all by yourself. You ask for guidance from people whom you can trust, right? That's why we have friends in life. That's why we have well wishers in life. That's why we have guru in life. Otherwise, what is the need? So when your intelligence cannot find out, you ask for help. Simple. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Hello, the class was really good. I just have a very humble question. It is tolerance and the obstacles that come in our life. And if the obstacle is repeatedly coming in our life, and if we keep tolerating for some time, but after some time, if you lose that patience and then burst it out, how to come out of such a situation?
Okay. So Mataji, first of all, if we have been tolerating and then we burst at a certain time in life, then we should know we have not been tolerating. That's a wrong word. That means we have been only helplessly accepting. It's not tolerance. We are helplessly accepting it. And because you can't be helpless like that forever, so one day you burst out. So we have to learn tolerance. That's what I'm saying. Our approach to tolerance is many times wrong. We are aimlessly tolerating. And we call that tolerance, but that is not tolerance. That is helplessness. Right? So if you don't have a goal and you just tolerate like that for the sake of tolerating, that is not tolerance. Then that is helplessness. I'm helpless. I can't do anything about it. But tolerance is not that. Tolerance is rising above that situation, right? And working in something which is more something, some other area which is more important. So if you say I have been tolerating and then I burst at certain time, now let's change the words. I have been rising above and then I fall at a certain time. Is it possible? No. If you have been actually tolerating, that means you have been rising in your consciousness. And if you have been rising in your consciousness, why will you suddenly someday fall down? So you have not been tolerating. You have only been accepting it helplessly. That's not tolerance. Do you think when the tree is cut by the woodcutter, so first time the tree is hit by the axe, the tree does not complain. The second time hit by the axe, the tree does not complain. But the 10th time, then the tree itself takes its branch and hits the woodcutter. It happens like that. कि 9 बार उनको टॉलरेट किया और 10th time I'll beat you. Does it happen? No. That is tolerance. That is tolerance. So what we tolerate, we call it as tolerance, but we are not tolerating it. We are only helplessly accepting it. Hmm? That tree example is being given to us just to give us an idea of what tolerance means. Not that that is what we have to follow. Because Mahaprabhu said, be more tolerant than a tree. He did not say be tolerant like a tree. More means the tree does not have a choice, but you have a choice. That means you have to be more tolerant. Means you do it consciously, willingly, not helplessly. You know. So there is a difference between that. But that willingly tolerance will only happen if you have that goal. So first question you should ask yourself, do I have a goal?
But in case of person, you think you are going to very person, and then maybe level to disturb you will increase.
Again, you have not understood tolerance. At the first point only I made, tolerance is not accepting abuse. He said, no, it's not that unnecessarily I should tolerate. It should be for a goal. So when you say someone is doing something and I'm just tolerating, who asked you? Who asked you to tolerate? What will you achieve by tolerating that? Same example, sand on the ice cube. What will I achieve by tolerating that? So if it is all about tolerating anything and everything, then Krishna will tell Arjuna also to tolerate the Kauravas. He will not tell fight with the Kauravas. So we have to understand tolerance, what is meant by tolerance and where you have to apply it. Yeah, because we have not learned these things from the right perspective. We have learned these things from what we have learned from the society. And that's how we start defining things. Like to give you a very simple example, before coming to Krishna consciousness, you had a particular definition for the word love, right or wrong? Right? You had a definition for love, yes? So what made that definition of love for you? What was the source of that definition? What is that environment? Movies. What they showed you, you believe that is love, isn't it? Who made that definition of love for you? The movies. The movie showed this is love, and you started believing, yes, this is love. Correct? Isn't it? Now you go to those same actors who participated in that movie as actor and actress, and then you ask them, in your life, did you experience this kind of love? So they said, no, it is only on the camera screen that we show that kind of love. But in reality, it's not that. But your definition of love is that, isn't it? So how we define things is based on what we have learned from society, from our experience. So we have learned a certain definition of tolerance. But that's not what Krishna is telling to Arjuna. Krishna is not telling Arjuna tolerate everything. Otherwise, he would have said tolerate the Kauravas also, isn't it? But what he's telling is, you have this goal which is based on dharma, right? On achieving this goal, whatever comes your way, you tolerate that. That's why I made it very clear from the very beginning. First, the goal should be clear. Not that aimlessly I tolerate anything that happens in life. That's not the point. इसलिए when we come to Krishna consciousness or when we come to a spiritual institute to learn, we have to many times understand that what we have learned in the past, I have to first erase all of that. Because I have wrongly learned many things. मैंने गलत डेफिनेशन सीखा, गलत सब कुछ काफी कुछ गलत सीखा. Now I have to start learning again from very beginning. then you can practice and apply and get success. No? So this is not one thing, many things. Like we say happiness. So what is our definition of happiness? What is my definition of happiness? If I am not a devotee, what is the definition of happiness for people? Bodily comfort, right? That's what happiness is. Let me do whatever I want to do at any time I want to do. That's what happiness is. No one should stop me from doing anything. मेरा मन जो करेगा मैं वो करूँगा. That's what happiness is. Correct, isn't it? But as you become little sane in life, then you begin to realize this cannot be happiness because my mind is crazy. और मैं जो करूँ, if I do whatever mind says, then I'll end up doing crazy things. Correct? So I can't always do things which my mind suggests. Right or wrong? Isn't it? मुझे बुद्धि लगाना पड़ेगा. That you come to realize after some time. Isn't it? So that's why when we come to study Shastra or we are coming to spiritual practice, first of all we have to know that there are many things which we have learned wrong in life, and I have to correct all those definitions, and I have to restart learning. तो हम tolerance जो सीखे हैं that is wrong many ways. Krishna is not teaching all that kind of tolerance. He is teaching a tolerance which has a goal, not aimlessly tolerating. Right? So for that goal has to be clear. Many things have to be clear. Okay. Yes, it is there. If you are tolerating and you are humble, you'll be happy. If you are actually tolerating and you are humble. If you are frustrated, that means you are not on the way to your goal. If you are on your way to your goal and you are making progress, the immediate result of that will be joyful, will be happy, because you are coming closer to the goal. So if you are tolerating and then you are suffering, you are crying, that means you are not tolerating. If you are forgiving and at the same time your heart is not light, that means you are not forgiving. Right? If you think you are very humble and at the same time you also feel you are very miserable, then you are not humble. Right? Because if I'll be humble, if I'll tolerate, if I'll forgive, my heart will become so light. And the heart which is light is a happy heart. The heart which is heavy, it's a sad heart. Simple. That's why if someone says, I tolerate so much but I am miserable, so you have to tell that person, then you are not tolerating. Then you don't know what tolerance is. Isn't it? If someone says, मेरे हृदय में इतना प्यार है, सबके लिए प्यार है, लेकिन मैं खुश नहीं हूँ यार. I'm not happy. Then what do you have to say to that person? कि फिर आपके हृदय में प्यार नहीं है. You know, then you don't have love. Because if you have so much love, how will you not be happy? Isn't it? Yeah.
Learning that whatever mind wants is to do. So what is the difference between the independence and working according to Shastra? And why should we work a lot in accordance to the Shastra? And Shastra also are different ways in own ways. And same means was not available. Now independence is available.
This is your question or someone asked you this question? Your question. It can't be your question. Someone asked you this question. Your kids are asking this question. Okay. So Yeah, such things will be there, but then you have to tell that person very honestly. Why you think there was no entertainment in the past ages? What is your understanding of people in the past? Why you think like that? Just because they did not have television, mobile phone, that means they did not have entertainment. It's not like that. Uh, we have become so used to this kind of lifestyle and we think this is very happy lifestyle. But if you can just go 50 years back and you look at the beauty of the nature, and that the happiness you'll get by that is 100 times more than watching something on the mobile phone or television, isn't it? Mm. Yeah, a few months ago, I was watching a short video on Instagram. I have also seen when down 60 years ago. Uh, you look at that video and you'll be like, my God, Vrindavan was so beautiful. The trees, the river, the path, the cows, you know, and the deities, they are shining like anything. And as soon as you watch that video, immediately you will definitely develop this desire that I wish I was born in that era. No. That happiness is much more than the happiness you are getting by watching something on the mobile screen. So first of all, you have to tell that person who asked this question. Don't think that there was no happiness or source of entertainment in the past. It was much more than what is now. You know. Second, scriptures were written in the past. That doesn't mean that that knowledge is for the past. It's for all times. It's eternal knowledge. It's the same thing. Only things have changed, situations have changed, environment has changed, but the principle is the same. Huh? Problems? It's the same. You read Mahabharata, same problem. Brother and brother are fighting. There's so much of envy, politics, leg pulling. Same thing is happening now also. What has changed? Who said that? Who said that? So earlier they did not need aircraft. Now we need aircraft. They earlier they could just fly from that same point where they're standing and land to the point where they have to go. Now I have to go to the airport, take a flight, and land somewhere, and then take a car to go to where I want to go. Earlier they were more advanced. From here they can fly and land at the place they want to reach. Who said they were not advanced? They could travel also. They would travel the potency of mantra. They would chant mantras and the mantra will carry them wherever they want to go. People were not. Who said this? These things. This is all because of wrong education. That people in the past were like this, like that. You just take them to a temple. You take them to Balaji temple on Tirumala. And then tell that fellow who is asking this question, if these people were less advanced than us, how did he make a temple on the hilltop with all these heavy stones? How? These roads were made 70 years ago. So before that, there were no roads. The steps that we are taking to climb to the hill, that were also made 50 years ago. So there were no steps. So how did they make this temple on the top if they did not have engineering, if they were not advanced? How? And you ask them, with all your modern facility, can you make such a temple now? They say no, very difficult. So this is all wrong education, our modern education system, thanks to that expensive schools and colleges. Mm.
Thanks for the wonderful answer. One question, sometimes when we concentrate on this system, there are things that we taken for granted, like So we ensure that
So that person is taking you for granted, let's say. Then what is that person doing?
repeating the same thing, whatever.
Yeah, that person is repeating the same thing. So then, if you are already rising above your external, how is it affecting you?
But eventually, I mean, we become an obstacle. And the
It,
pain,
it will not become an obstacle. And of course, if it becomes too much for you to tolerate, then you should understand this is my time to now go away. That is called renunciation, detachment. You know. So we should be open for that idea or concept also. If we are too attached to making that person change, so that I can continue in a way I like with that person, that means I don't understand the concept of detachment. At some point of time, you have to also get disconnected. For that, you should have that much of detachment, right? So one quality fosters or supports another quality. You can't say I'll be attached and I'll be tolerant. You have to meanwhile also cultivate detachment. So if you find that some situation it's been going on for years and years and years like that, you have been tolerating and you have been making progress, and now you feel that environment is not really conducive for further progress, so you have to leave that environment to come out of it. But if you still want to stay in that environment, then that is your mistake, right? So we should also know one more thing. There are so many qualities. We can't speak of all the qualities in one class now. In one class we can only emphasize on one quality. But that doesn't mean you can live life based on only one quality, right? You have to also apply other qualities in life and then live a balanced life. But in one class, we can't talk about all the qualities. So we are focusing on one quality. That doesn't mean that in every situation now I have to only apply this thing and other things I don't. So other things are also there. Hmm? Yeah. So you should remember that thing. Tolerate for the goal. So if you keep that in mind, you will yourself understand. Am I tolerating? Am I not tolerating? Should I tolerate? Should I not tolerate? How much should I tolerate? It's for the goal. Otherwise, it's useless. Okay? I'll give a very simple example. Are we getting short of time? We have time? Okay. So, a very simple example. Let's say you all have come here to listen to this class. What is the goal of coming here? Listen to the class. You have a backache, and because of that, you can't sit on the floor, let's say. Huh? So, you look for chairs, and you find all the chairs are taken by old people, senior people. So you can't even ask them, let please leave the chair for me. Okay? So you have come to the class to hear the class or to sit on the chair. That is first. Second is sitting on the chair. You do not come to sit on the chair, no? That you would have done at home also. Right? So you came to the class to hear the class. The second point was if I get the chair, very nice. But if I don't get the chair, I'll sit down on the floor. In that process of sitting on the floor, I may have to tolerate some pain. But by tolerating that pain, the goal of listening to the class is getting achieved. So I am tolerating. Are you understanding? So that is intelligent tolerance. You are tolerating intelligently, consciously. Getting the point or not? Right? But you come to the class and you are sitting next to someone and that person is constantly troubling you. See this message on WhatsApp, video. You know? and because of that you are not able to listen to the class. But if you have the wrong definition of tolerance, you will think, let me tolerate this person, no problem. चलो दिखाओ मुझे क्या दिखा रहे हो. I'm tolerating. You know. So you did tolerate, but you missed the goal. You came to the class to listen to the class, right? So I hope this example helps. Yeah. So then you tolerate it, but you miss the goal. Okay. Hmm.
Because one of the question that I need to ask you on behalf of person not to say that you know, but you have to respond in this way. But they are online, the question is usually if the voting say we are not so ability to tolerate all this problem.
Oh.
So it is that totally comes from the experience or sadhana or anyone can practice totally.
Okay. So Mataji, when people say like that, then we should know they are only making excuse. Because in this life, everyone has to learn to tolerate. No one can say I can't tolerate. Because life will make you tolerate. Either you do it voluntarily, or the life will make you do it forcefully. So when you do it forcefully, then it's like being helpless and tolerating. But that everyone has to. So if you say I'm weak, I cannot tolerate and all that, that's not you can say a right thing to say or correct thing to say, because life will make us tolerate. So they have to learn that these things will happen. You just have to grow. You have to learn to grow, and learning to grow means you have to learn to accept the reality. The sooner you accept it, the better you make out of your life. The later you accept it, the more time you lose. So we have to learn to accept it. So it's nothing like I'm weak, I can't tolerate. So you have to learn to tolerate. If you give that excuse, it's not going to work. And second thing, everyone should be taught the right definition of tolerance. We are not asking people to just tolerate anything and everything blindly, uselessly. For that, I gave the example standing on the ice cube, lighting a fire around you. Someone is abusing you, someone is beating you, and you still tolerate. Right? That kind of tolerance is something which is not advocated by Shastra. That's why Srila Prabhupada was so much later on against the concept of Gandhiji promoting non-violence. Said that kind of non-violence is foolishness. Krishna is not promoting that kind of non-violence. He's telling to Arjuna, fight, isn't it? They're understanding. So that kind of helplessly tolerating, that is not advocated by anyone, right? It's not being promoted by the Shastra scriptures.
So one should not tolerate injustice.
No, one should not. If you think it's an injustice and you can work to make it better, you should work. But after putting your efforts, still that thing is not being solved. You have tried very hard, and let's say Arjuna was told by Krishna, you fight against the Kauravas, and let's say in that battle Arjuna got defeated, and then he lost. Then he should accept it as his karma. So you should try for the solution. कोई problem है, solution के लिए आप कोशिश करो, मेहनत करो, right? But then if you see that it persists, इतना मेहनत करने के बाद भी वो नहीं हो रहा है, then you have to understand कि ये मेरा भाग्य है, कर्म है. अब मुझे बस इसको accept करना है, and इस पे ज़्यादा time waste नहीं करना है. Because if it is how things are for you, you can't change them much. You can't. When I am not supreme, na, I can only change to a certain extent, isn't it? So that will not help. It will only deteriorate. The example of Michael Jackson. I'll give this example. So Michael Jackson, you all know this name, right? Have you seen this picture? Huh? See? How many of If you believe he was very good looking, handsome person. No, right? Huh? भूत भूत ghost, right? ऐसा लगता था ना, isn't it? But earlier Michael Jackson was not like that. He was very handsome, very handsome. But the only problem was he was black. He was black body, happy content, black body. So in those days in America, there was a big this discrimination, black and white, and because of that, the black did not get to study in the best colleges. They did not get the best job. People did not really see them as the, you know. So because of that inferiority feeling, he wanted to change his skin color. Otherwise, he was a very good looking person. And then this solution was there, plastic surgery karo, you know. So he did this plastic surgery, and after that he became such an ugly looking person. So what I'm trying to say is, he was born black, you know. He could have tried for some natural solutions, and when he saw that it's not changing much, he should have just accepted that thing as ये मेरा karma है. But when he did not, he spoiled it. He spoiled it. So if you see that there is something wrong happening, I should work towards making it better, give a try. कोशिश कीजिए, लेकिन कैसे कोशिश कीजिए? अधार्मिक तरीके से मत कीजिए, धार्मिक तरीके से कीजिए. डू इट इन अ नाइस रिलीजियस मैनर. अगर वो सॉल्यूशन होना होगा, हो जाएगा. वो सॉल्यूशन होना नहीं होगा, तो यू शुड एक्सेप्ट इट एज फेट. मूव ऑन, आगे बढ़ो. माइक इज देयर.
आपने एक बात बोली है, like you talked about many things that we've got to unlearn before we start learning. And clearly talking is an example of that, right? Like another thing is also we need as students here is enthusiasm for the belief. I'm sure it is like something for us to unlearn to increase the enthusiasm, right? Because यहाँ पे जब होते हैं enthusiasm बहुत ज़्यादा होता है. Like as we move on Monday, Tuesday, करते करते Wednesday तक enthusiasm भी कम हो जाते हैं. What are the things we need to unlearn to keep the enthusiasm levels high and the consistency high?
There are many things to unlearn, Mataji. Not just one, few things.
Like some of the key things to people in this path.
First thing that you have to unlearn is the wrong definition of happiness that you have got from society. We have a very wrong definition of what will make us happy. So we have to unlearn that. Why? Because if you know how to be happy, you should be happy now. If you really know how to be happy, you should be happy. And then you ask yourself, am I happy? So the answer is no. To tell others, it might be yes. But for oneself, it is no. Right? Isn't it? Sometimes you can't tell people also very honestly, I'm not happy. Because you start thinking, इतना बड़ा घर है मेरे पास, इतना गाड़ी है, I am such a big person. How can I say I'm not happy? थोड़ा सा मेरा, it goes against my ego, right? That's why people, even if they are not happy, they'll try to show we are very happy. But in their own heart, they know that they are not happy. So if you think you know to be happy, you should be happy, but you're not happy. That means my definition of happiness is not correct. Right? So if my definition for happiness is not correct, all that I'm doing to be happy, which is not happiness, is not correct. That means I'm wasting my time. That's what Krishna says, chasing the illusion. I'm chasing the illusion. Will I get there? No. Why? Because it is illusion. So we have to do that. So once you have understood it, Then you can be enthusiastic about the goal because the goal is real happiness, true happiness, actual happiness. So we have to unlearn this thing, the wrong definition of happiness that we have acquired from society. Not just society, society, friends, even our parents, everyone. Because if they did not know what is happiness, how will they teach us? So we have to unlearn that thing, the wrong definition of happiness, the wrong definition of success. We have to unlearn all that and get the correct definition. And then we can put more efforts towards that, more time and energy towards that. Otherwise, we'll be wasting so much of time. So enthusiasm will always be there when we understand these few basic things. Therefore, these few basic things, we have to spend a lot of time in understanding them. Then we can be always enthusiastic. And we should be devotee association as much as possible. Okay, last question.
I think I do. In following the situation which is between our countries. So in that case, do we need to tolerate or
Okay, Prabhuji, first of all, I'll tell you something very simple. Two things are there. Area of influence, area of concern. Okay? Area of influence, area of concern. What you are talking about, if this is happening in that country, it is only my area of concern. It's not my area of influence. How? Okay. In practical level, what can I do about it? Concern means चिंता होता है उसका, है ना? Influence means I can practically do something about it. Fine. So in this world, so many things are going on.
what is happened here?
So it will happen here, then you think about it.
Then you think
हाँ, अदरवाइज मैं रास्ते में जाऊंगा, मेरा एक्सीडेंट हो जाएगा, मैं उधर से चलूंगा, ऊपर से वो बिल्डिंग गिर जाएगा. If you keep on just anticipating problems like that, will you be able to live life properly? Huh? So, first thing you should know, in this world, so much is going on. You are talking about Bangladesh, right? But is that the only place where something wrong is happening? No, no. There's so many wrong things going on, right? Maybe a wrong thing is going on in the next building now. We don't know, isn't it? Maybe someone in the next building is committing suicide. We don't know. Right or wrong? So, दुनिया में क्या क्या गलत हो रहा है? If you just keep on thinking about that, it will only make you such a depressed person. Isn't it? So, you are not supposed to think about everything because it's not your area of influence. हाँ, जब आपका एरिया होगा तब आप उसके बारे में सोचो ना. But if it's not your area of influence, then you work on what is your area of influence. So this is first thing. Second thing, that's why don't watch unnecessary news. No? Don't watch unnecessary news. Because we start thinking, इतना बुरा हो रहा है, इतना बुरा हो रहा है. But बुरा तो कहाँ नहीं हो रहा है? Where is it not happening? क्या बैंगलोर में नहीं हो रहा है बुरा? नहीं हो रहा है? Are murders not happening in Bangalore? Happening, no? Happening, right? Are criminals not there in Bangalore? There. So why go to Bangladesh? Isn't it? So that's why be very focused in life and don't be guilty about it. I have no guilt if I'm not thinking about what is happening in other part of the world because I can't do anything about it. First thing. Second thing, Krishna is not going to hold me accountable for it. Right? Isn't it? Correct? I am responsible for. हाँ, अभी मैं यहाँ पर हूँ, आप लोग यहाँ पर आए, मुझे बोलना है, आपको सुनना है, आपका क्वेश्चन उसका जवाब देना है. Correct? That's what I am accountable for. So we have to be very focused in life. Goal. दूसरे के प्रति ऐसा नहीं कि फीलिंग नहीं होना चाहिए, बट इट शुड नॉट ओवर पावर मी सो मच कि मैं अपना प्रेजेंट को भूल जाऊं, मेरा सिचुएशन भूल जाए। आई एम जस्ट थिंकिंग अबाउट वहां पे हुआ, मेरे साथ भी हो सकता है, ऐसे तो कुछ भी हो सकता है, राइट? है ना? या डोंट थिंक अबाउट इट सो मच प्रॉब्लम। Otherwise, you see, if you are thinking too much about like this, what if because of that consciousness, next time you take birth amongst them? Yam yam vapi smaran bhavan, त्यजति अन्ते कलेवरम, कम कम वेति कौन्ते। हाँ, right? Yeah. Okay, fine. We stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. What is next?